Hello everyone, Todd here and welcome to the first episode of The Fearless Foxes. Now you may have seen from the thumbnail and the video title that is also going to be a Foot Manager 2018 giveaway series. Now what I'm going to do is play one whole season as manager of Leicester City and my goal is to try and finish as high as possible. Now I challenge you out there to do the same thing. So basically what I want you to do is play through one season in charge of Leicester just as I am doing and trying to finish as high in the table as possible, and then I want you to submit your final league table on my Facebook page, on my wall, under the comments section that I will provide, and I want you guys to see how well you can do, and the highest place finish will receive a free copy of Foot Manager 2018. Now obviously if two entries finish second in the table, for instance, then we'll go by goal difference, goals scored, goals conceded, just like in real life. But basically the rules are very, very simple. I want you guys to have fun with the series as much as I will, and it's going to be interesting to see who finishes top of the table. So it's going to be pretty exciting. It's just something to kind of do in between now and Foot Manager 2018, get him at least, and obviously it gives you guys the opportunity to win a free copy of Foot Manager 2018, and it's a way for me saying thank you for your support thus far in my channel and me, and just a way to help grow our community as well. But without further ado, let's get this season started. Okay everyone, once again, welcome to the Fearless Foxes. Now, as I mentioned, it's the first episode. It's a bit more of an introduction to the squad, so some of you may already be familiar with the players at hand, but in case you are not, let's go take a look at the team that I've inherited. So obviously, goalkeeper, no doubt their number one choice is Kasper Schmeichel, son of the legendary Peter Schmeichel. He's had a wonderful season thus far in real life, including a penalty save at Old Trafford. I mean, he's a great goalkeeper, nothing much to say about that. I'm not looking to replace him. Now if we look towards our back line, now this is where it gets a little bit sketchy. Now we have a couple of good players in there, primarily Wes Morgan, who is he's an aging centre half, but nevertheless a big solid rock at the back. His pace is a little bit concerning for me because I do like to have pacey strikers, pacey defenders I should say, because the Premier League does and Foot Manager does tend to prefer pacey players up top. Then Robert Hoof, it will most likely be his partner, and they struck a really good partnership up for that championship winning year, and obviously he's lacking a lot of pace as well, but he is definitely a bit of a stopper in the middle of defence, a rock as it were. Now they did spend a lot of money in the summer bringing in Harry Maguire, who isn't a lot faster than those two, but he is slightly more mobile and obviously a lot younger than those two players, so he might have to play some role this season. But that's pretty much it for the centre halves. Our right back, Danny Simpson, is primarily our one and only first choice right back, and he's not really gifted in any particular area. His crossing's pretty weak, so you can't really provide much attacking whip for us. Pace is pretty good, mental attributes are pretty good, but he's solid. He's not exactly spectacular, but definitely solid. On the left back, we've actually got one left back to choose from, and that's Christian Fuchs, who is a very, very good left back to speak of, and he's going to be a very important player for us this season. As you can see, with crossing being 15 and good overall technical and physical and mental ability, he's going to be a very important player for us this season, so he's going to have to perform very well for us to succeed. And then apart from that, that's really it. There's not much else to me to talk about. Ben Lani, I think it's pronounced his name, Johan, is pretty well-rounded, centre half, not too bad at all. But again, nothing spectacular. So that's an area of the team that I may look to improve off. Maybe try and bring in another defender if I possibly can. Now, midfield, that's actually one of the strong areas of the squad. We have plenty of options and plenty of versatility. Starting off with Mark Albright, who can play on the left wing and the right wing comfortably. He's a workhorse. He likes getting up and down the wing, and and he's going to provide a lot of whip for us. As you can see, good crossing ability there. Pace, not great. He is 26 years old, or 26 years old, I was going to say, I thought he was older than that, never mind. But his work rate's excellent, teamwork is very, very good as well. He lacks a little bit on the technical side, but I'm sure he'll be a useful player for us. Then in midfield, we have Vincent Abora, who is definitely an anchorman style midfielder. 6'3", strong, versatile, very, very good positioning. He's a very, very good centre midfielder, and he's definitely helps strengthen the middle of the team. Then we have, who else we got? We've got Andy King, who's a deep line playmaker, 27-year-old, bit of veteran in the squad. He's been there at the club since 2004. Good player to have on board. Then we have possibly the X factor in the team, which is Mares. Now Mares, as we know in real life, has put in a transfer request and he wants to go off to a bigger club. So my first priority is going to be trying to keep him or get a lot of money for him. I would like to keep him because he provides X factor going forward, and obviously he was that player of the year in the team that won the Premier League just a couple of seasons ago. So he's going to be a very, very important player for us. If I can get the best out of him, we do stand a good chance of surprising a few teams this year. Other players to talk about in midfield. Honestly, that's really about it. Obviously, there's Wilfred Ndidi, a very strong, young, defensive-minded midfielder from Nigeria. They spent a lot of money in him last season, and he did okay. I think he could do a lot better, and he scored a few cracking goals when he played for Genk, so I expect to see a few more this season if possible. Let's talk about up top, our strikers. Now, we do have quite a few options up top. Primarily, our number one choice, as we know, is Jamie Vardy. Very well-rounded, tough English centre forward, tons and tons of pace. I've been looking for him to break down the back line of the opposition defence, get beyond, and get a few goals for us this season. He's going to be partnered probably by Iheanacho, who they spent a lot of money on, despite not playing many games for Manchester City, but he's got a lot of talent. He's got great pace, good strength. He's only 19 years old, good finishing, good composure as well. I do think he's going to be a wonderful signing for Leicester in the long term, and I think he'll make an impact this season for me. Other options, obviously Okazaki, who is a workhorse as well. Lacks a little bit of strength up top, but he does make up for it with his work rates and efforts. I definitely appreciate that kind of a player. Then we have another option. We have Slimani, who is definitely an out-and-out target man, 6'2", just kind of a lummox you can hit the ball towards in the box in case you need a late goal. So he's going to play some role this season. Maybe I can strike a decent partnership up with Vardy if needed. And then other players, talk about Damari Gray, who's a bit of a pacey winger. Good player. They spent a lot of money on him. He's obviously he's won in more 13 opportunities this season in real life, so it's going to be interesting to see if he gets them, and if he does, what can he do with it? Because I mean, the guy's no doubt got a lot of talent, and he can cross the ball a bit, good amount of pace. We'll have to see what he can do. Obviously, play on both flanks very comfortably. His versatility is going to be important for me this season, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he can make. And then I mean, that's really about it for the squad itself. Obviously, another player to talk about is Alua, another target man, 6'1". I may try and move him on. He's valued at 6.75 million. And he's wanted by someone already, by a lot of teams actually. So if I can get a decent amount of money for him, I might try and move him on. Just because we've only got 24 million to spend so far, and we got a couple of weeks before the season begins. So 24 million is actually a decent amount, and I think I can get myself a good centre half with that. And we got plenty of wage budget available, so we're gonna have to. We might have to get a little bit more creative. Maybe bring in a couple of quality players. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and improve the back line. I may try and bring in a backup left back and maybe another centre half of higher quality than the ones we have. If I can do those two things, I'm fairly confident we'll surprise a few teams this year, and I'm going to make the early prediction that we will finish in the top 8. That's my prediction. I don't know if it's going to come true or not, obviously, but I'm fairly confident with this team as the way it is right now. I think we can get in the top 8 and maybe make a push for Europe. So that is my goal for the season. Obviously, it's a little bit underwhelming, but then again, the Premier League is going to be a very tough year this season, I should say. And I don't know, it's going to be a very tough season. And I think the squad we have right now, I think we could at least compete and let's get into the playoffs, the top 8, and then maybe maybe make a push for Europe. Who knows? So speaking of schedule, obviously we have 2 more games left before the season begins, and it's Eibar and Hamburg. And then the next episode, we're going to do Liverpool away to open up the season and Huddersfield at home. We're going to try and do two games per episode in this series. Let me know if you guys want to do 2 episodes or maybe stick to 1. Let me know your preference in the comments below. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this introduction video. Nice and quick, really. Talk briefly about the squad itself and obviously my goals and ambitions for the season. It's going to be a 1-season challenge, as I mentioned, so I'm not going to focus too much on young players and developing them. So it's going to primarily get the most out of the season as possible. And obviously, I was going to be part of the reason doing the savers for the giveaway as well. So make sure you take out the instructions below on how to submit an entry for this competition. And obviously, good luck. I hope you guys will do well this season. And as I mentioned, the winner will get a copy of Football Manager 2018 on me. But thank you guys so much for watching this introduction episode of the Fearless Foxes. I hope you guys will enjoy this series and hopefully you guys will play along. And yeah, so that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.